Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. First, place 1 pound or about ground beef into a large mixing bowl. Crack in 2 eggs. They'll help bind everything together and give the tender, juicy texture. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika, and sprinkle in 1 tablespoon of flour. Now, finely chop a small bunch of fresh parsley. As you chop, the aroma instantly fills the air, bright, earthy, and full of life. Add it to the bowl with the beef. Next, grate 1 onion. It's amazing how something so simple can add so much character to a dish. As soon as you start, that familiar aroma fills the air, the kind that instantly makes a kitchen feel alive. Onions bring not just flavor, but warmth. They soften into sweetness as they cook. Add the grated onion to the bowl. Now it's time to mix everything together. Use your hands for this step. It's the best way to really bring all the ingredients together. You'll feel when the texture is just right, soft, even, and full of promise. It's one of those little kitchen moments that feels grounding and familiar, like the way our parents and grandparents used to cook, not rushing, just enjoying the process. Once everything is well mixed, lay out a sheet of parchment paper on your work surface. Spread the meat mixture right on top, shaping it into a large, even rectangle. Take your time to smooth out the edges. A little care here makes all the difference later. There's something special about these simple, steady motions. They turn cooking into more than a task. They turn it into a memory. Friends, I always enjoy knowing where you're from. Please share your city and country. And if you're in the US, let me know your state. Next, drizzle a bit of olive oil into a warm pan and let it heat up until it shimmers. That's when you know it's ready. While it's heating, finely chop 1 onion. There's something so grounding about this simple task, isn't there? The sound of the knife on the cutting board, the rhythm of each slice. It's one of those kitchen moments that feels both calm and familiar. If you have any questions about the recipe, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments, and I'll reply as soon as I can. Once the oil is ready, add the chopped onion to the pan. Right away, you'll hear that gentle sizzle, the start of something delicious. When the onions turn beautifully golden, stir in 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. The moment it hits the pan, the aroma changes, smoky, tangy, and just a little sweet. It's that irresistible flavor that wraps everything in warmth. Give it a good stir so every piece of onion is coated, and let the sauce simmer gently for a minute. Now, grate 1 carrot. That cheerful pop of orange always brightens the cutting board. Carrots add not just sweetness, but such a lovely balance to savory dishes. They're packed with beta-carotene, which is great for our eyes and skin, and full of natural fiber to keep us feeling good. Add the grated carrot to the pan, and as it cooks, it softens, blending beautifully with the onions and barbecue sauce. The colors deepen, the aromas grow richer. This is where a simple dish starts to feel special. Friends, if you enjoyed the video, a like would be much appreciated. It's the best way to support me. Now, take the colorful veggie mix and spread it evenly over the ground beef layer. Just look at all those colors. It already feels like a meal that could bring everyone running to the kitchen. I always love this moment, layering flavors, knowing that soon they'll all melt together into something warm, rich, and comforting. It's that kind of food that feels like home, simple ingredients, but full of heart. Next, melt a little butter in a pan until it starts to bubble softly. Friends, if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more recipes like this. Chop 2 mushrooms. I love how they soak up flavor like little sponges, bringing their deep, earthy aroma to the dish. Mushrooms are such quiet heroes of the kitchen, low in calories but full of nutrients, vitamin D, and antioxidants that help keep us strong. Add them to the pan and let them cook until golden and tender, when that cozy, savory scent fills the air. Now, finely chop 1 red onion. I always find red onions a little bit special, that vibrant color, the touch of sweetness, and the way they make any dish feel alive. They're rich in antioxidants too, great for supporting heart health. Add them to the pan and sauté together with the mushrooms for another few minutes. Everything softens and blends, filling the kitchen with that familiar, homey aroma. Then finely chop 3 garlic cloves. Ah, garlic. The moment it hits the warm pan, it transforms everything. The smell alone feels like a hug. I can still picture my mom stirring a pan of garlic and onions. That scent meant dinner was almost ready, and we'd all hover nearby, waiting for a taste. Add the garlic to the pan and cook just until it releases its aroma, tying all the flavors together beautifully. Take the pan off the heat and spread this fragrant vegetable mixture over the beef and veggie layers. This will add depth, juiciness, and that irresistible home-cooked flavor to every bite. Now, fill a small pot with water and bring it to a boil. Gently lower in 2 eggs and cook them for about 7 minutes, just enough to get firm, creamy yolks. While they're boiling, take 10 ounces, or about 300 grams of soft cheese and grate it. Soft cheese brings that rich, velvety texture we love, and it's full of calcium for strong bones and protein for lasting energy. Set aside half for later. We'll use it to top the roll, and place the rest in a bowl. Once the eggs are ready, peel and grate them on a fine grater. I always find this step oddly satisfying. The eggs turn so soft and fluffy, almost like snow. Grating them this way gives the filling that delicate, melt-in-your-mouth texture later on. They're packed with protein and B vitamins, real fuel for both body and soul. Then, add the grated eggs to the bowl with the cheese. Add 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise for creaminess. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and grate in 1 clove of garlic on a mini grater for a little extra kick. Stir everything together until smooth and creamy. This mixture will be the heart of our roll-up. Just imagine how it'll melt and mingle inside, making every slice rich, tender, and full of flavor. It's the kind of dish that feels made to share, the kind that brings everyone to the table before you even call them. Spread the creamy cheese and egg mixture evenly over the beef and veggie layer, making sure to reach every corner. That's where all the flavor hides. This silky, rich layer will melt into the meat as it bakes, adding that irresistible creaminess that ties everything together. Now comes the fun part, the roll. Using the parchment paper, gently lift one edge and start rolling the beef into a neat log. Take your time here. It's one of those moments that feels a bit like magic, watching all those colorful layers come together into something beautiful. Once it's rolled, wrap it tightly in foil. That shiny wrap isn't just for looks. It helps lock in all those juices so the roll turns out tender, moist, and full of flavor. Preheat your oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and bake for about 30 minutes. Now, drizzle a bit of olive oil into a hot pan. It should shimmer slightly. Then take 2 to 3 large potatoes and chop into small cubes. I always think there's something comforting about working with potatoes. It reminds me of those evenings when the whole family gathered in the kitchen, everyone helping out, chatting, laughing, and sneaking little bites as we cook. Add the potatoes to the pan and cook until they turn beautifully golden and crispy on the edges. Once they're nearly done, season with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Toss them well and let them finish cooking until they're crisp outside and soft inside, the perfect little bites of comfort. Now, take a baking dish and spread the golden potatoes across the bottom. They'll soak up all the juices from the roll later. Next, chop 1 bell pepper into thin strips. As you slice, take a second to admire the color, bright, bold, and full of life. Bell peppers aren't just beautiful, they're rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, perfect for keeping your immune system strong. Scatter them over the potatoes, creating a layer that looks as good as it'll taste. Then slice 1 to 2 tomatoes into thin rings. I love this step. The tomatoes bring a juicy freshness that brightens the whole dish. They're full of lycopene too, a powerful antioxidant that supports heart and skin health. Arrange the tomato slices neatly on top of the peppers. The layers will look like a little edible mosaic. By this time, your beef roll should be beautifully baked. Take it out of the oven and carefully unwrap the foil. Gently place the roll on top of the vegetables in the baking dish. In a small bowl, mix 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of barbecue sauce, and 1 teaspoon of mustard. Stir it well until smooth. This glossy mixture will give your roll that perfect caramelized shine. Brush it generously over the roll, coating it from end to end. Finally, sprinkle the remaining cheese over the top, letting it fall into all the little folds and corners. Slide the dish back into the oven for another 20 minutes, just until the cheese melts into a golden, bubbling crust. Once the roll is ready, slice into it gently, and you'll see all those beautiful layers inside. Juicy meat, tender vegetables, and that creamy melted filling. Place a piece on a plate alongside the roasted vegetables. Colors, the aroma, pure comfort on a plate. Sprinkle with fresh parsley for a final touch of brightness. Tender beef, caramelized veggies, that golden cheese topping, simple, cozy, and full of heart. Truly hope it brings the same comfort and joy to your table as it always has to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today, but that's not all. I have a second, equally delicious recipe for you. We're starting with 2 pounds, or 900 grams, of ground beef in a large mixing bowl. Crack in 2 eggs. Season with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika for a touch of warmth and color. Now, grate 1 medium onion. As it breaks down, it releases its sweet juices that keep the meat moist and flavorful. The scent of fresh onion always reminds me of those quiet evenings at home. Add the grated onion to the bowl. Next, finely chop a small bunch of fresh parsley. It's such a simple herb, but it brings so much life to any dish. That bright green freshness, the little hint of garden flavor. It's full of vitamins too, and somehow it always feels like adding a sprinkle of sunshine. Add it to the bowl. And now comes my favorite part, mixing by hand. There's something timeless about it, isn't there? The way generations before us did it, no rush, just patience and care. Feel the texture come together between your fingers, the spices blending, the parsley releasing its fragrance. Mix just until everything is combined. That's the secret to keeping the meat juicy and tender. While the meat rests, let's prepare our side dish. Place 5 medium potatoes in a pot and cover with water. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Cover with a lid and let them simmer gently for 30 to 40 minutes until they're soft enough that a fork slides in easily. Now, lay a large sheet of parchment paper on your work surface. Place the beef mixture on top. And gently shape it into a rectangle about 1 inch thick. Try to keep it even. This will make rolling easier later. I always find this step calming, pressing and shaping, creating order with your hands. It's almost like sculpting something you know will bring joy to the table. In a frying pan, melt 1/4 of a stick or 30 grams of butter over medium heat. Grate 2 garlic cloves on a mini grater. Garlic has this wonderful way of waking up every flavor it touches, rich, warm, and comforting. It's also a little gift to our health, helping to strengthen the immune system and keep us feeling our best. Add it to the butter and let it sizzle for a minute, just until your kitchen smells heavenly. Next, finely chop 5 ounces or 150 grams of fresh spinach. I always love the moment the spinach hits the pan. It wilts so quickly, turning deep green and glossy. Spinach may look delicate, but it's full of iron, calcium, and fiber. One of those foods that nourishes both body and heart. Stir gently until it softens and the liquid evaporates. Now, spread the spinach evenly across your beef rectangle. Take your time. It's not just layering, it's building something with care. I always think of my grandmother at this part. The way she'd spoon, filling with such patience, making sure every inch was covered, every bite balanced. This is where the love goes, in every careful touch, every small detail that turns a simple recipe into something memorable. Pour a drizzle of olive oil into a frying pan and let it warm over medium heat. Meanwhile, finely chop 7 ounces or 200 grams of fresh mushrooms. There's something almost meditative about this step. The steady rhythm of the knife, the soft rustle as the mushrooms give way. As soon as you start chopping, that earthy, woodsy aroma fills the air. It's the scent of cozy evenings, of warmth after a cold day, of family dinners where laughter mixed with the sound of sizzling pans. Once the mushrooms are ready, add them to the pan. Let them sauté slowly, stirring now and then, until they turn beautifully golden and release all their juices. Be patient here. The secret to truly flavorful mushrooms is time. When they're perfectly browned and smell rich and nutty, turn off the heat. Now, spread the mushrooms evenly over the layer of spinach on top of the meat. Take your time with this, spoonful by spoonful, making sure each bite will have that perfect balance of flavor. It's a simple, quiet task, but it feels a little like an act of love, doesn't it? Just like when we used to layer casseroles for Sunday dinner, knowing everyone would go back for seconds. Next, grate 5 ounces or 150 grams of Emmental cheese. I love this part. The soft shreds falling like snow over the warm vegetables. Emmental melts into a silky, nutty blanket that ties everything together. Sprinkle it generously across the top. Now comes the best part, rolling it all up. Using the parchment paper for support, gently roll the meat into a tight, even log. Don't rush, just take it slow, pressing lightly as you go. As you roll, you'll feel the warmth of the mixture and maybe remember those times in your childhood kitchen, watching your mother or grandmother shape dishes with such calm precision. Next, let's make the glaze. In a small bowl, combine 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of grain Dijon mustard, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Stir until smooth. This glaze is a beautiful balance, a touch of sweetness, a little tang, a savory depth. It's what turns the roll into something truly festive. Place the roll on a sheet of foil and brush it generously with the glaze, like painting with flavor. Wrap it tightly, sealing in all that goodness. Place it in a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and bake for 1 hour. While the roll bakes, let's make the mashed potatoes. Check if they're ready. A knife should slide through easily. Drain them and return them to the warm pot, letting the steam escape for a moment. Add 1/4 of a stick or 30 grams of butter, 2 fluid ounces or 60 milliliters of cream, 1 ounce or 30 grams of grated Parmesan, Begin mashing, slowly, patiently. The butter melts in, the cream makes it smooth, and the Parmesan adds that gentle, salty tang. This is one of those simple kitchen rituals that always feels grounding, transforming something humble into pure comfort. About 10 minutes before the roll is done, take it out of the oven. Carefully unwrap the foil. And brush on the remaining glaze. Return it to the oven uncovered for the final golden finish. The glaze will caramelize, turning sticky, shiny, and irresistible. When it's ready, remove the roll and let it rest for a few minutes before slicing. Then cut gently, listen for that soft crackle of the crust giving way, and reveal those layers inside: juicy, seasoned beef, tender spinach, golden mushrooms, and melted cheese, holding it all together like a warm embrace. To serve, place a generous spoonful of creamy mashed potatoes on the plate, soft, buttery, and steaming. Add a thick slice of the beef roll beside it, letting the savory juices mingle with the mash. Slice a few cherry tomatoes. scatter them around for a fresh pop of color. Then sprinkle with chopped parsley for that final touch of brightness. And there it is, a dish that feels like home. Simple ingredients, layered with care, baked with love. It's hearty, festive, and comforting. I truly hope this recipe brings as much warmth and joy to your table as it always does to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. Until next time, happy cooking!